Before we start this show, just a word from our sponsor, 20 by 20 Apparel. Founded in 2015, 20 by 20 Apparel brings original tributes to pro wrestling's classic arenas, moments, and events. They look to spotlight the bloopers, bleeps, and body slams along with the biggest, smallest, strangest, and strongest that pro wrestling has had to offer. Along with their awesome line of pro wrestling apparel, they do offer many services. In the world of wrestling, there are hundreds of shirts, promotions, flyers, social media accounts, and ads. Don't get lost in the sea of parody shirts and display fonts. They can provide professional graphic design services at a reasonable price. 20 by 20 also hand screen prints all the tees in-house. If you would like to discuss possible run of tees, posters, koozies, foam fingers, or whatever, drop them a line. Go to 20 by 20 Apparel. That's the number 20x, the number 20 apparel.com. Now, let's get to the show.
Fresh is the word.
I'm Jim Duggan, got long wood for plenty hoes. I keep it fresher than fresh, but you already know. You suckers bummy, I'm money, I got a ton of flows. My weed loud like a motherfucking thunder roll. Your shit quiet like you ballin' on a budget though. We see your kicks and we laugh and yellin' what it goes. You see me shining like a suit on puffy. You know my grindin' shit is too strong, buddy. That's why the dude call money. I be stuntin' like it's nothing at all. Cause it's nothing to me, it's probably something to y'all. Trying to smoke like me, then come and fuck with your dog. Got a closet full of kicks, you can't cop it tomorrow. And I'm fresher than the freshest, you can tell it's in my essence. Bitch, you see the way I'm rapping, yes I do this shit to death. I tell I'm running out of breath, I tell somebody cut a check. But either way you know it's fresh, and either way you know it's fresh. Fresh, we fresh, fresh, goddammit, we fresh.
Welcome to the Fresh is the Word podcast. I'm your host, Kelly K. Fresh Frazier. And on Fresh is the Word, we like to deliver wisdom through great stories from the minds of bright creatives of pop culture. Through those stories, we like to dissect the journey of our guests and present actionable lessons and advice for our listeners, no matter what career or avenue of artistry they pursue. And before we get into this episode, I want to give a shout out to Knox Money, Bang Belushi, and Foulmouth for the theme music for Fresh is the Word. And if you would like to support the podcast, you can always go to freshisthepodcast.com and just share any of the links for any of the episodes on any of your social media platforms. And also, you can subscribe to Fresh is the Word pretty much anywhere that podcasts are streamed. And that includes Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, pretty much everywhere. And please rate and review, especially on Apple Podcasts. It will definitely help out the show. If you want to contact me, you can always reach me by email at djkfresh@gmail.com. Or you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at KFresh is the word, and on Facebook at facebook.com/KFresh. And you can also follow Fresh is the Word on Twitter at Fresh is the Word, and that's is with an IZ, Instagram at Fresh is the Word Podcast, and Facebook at facebook.com/Fresh is the Podcast. And this is episode 158. The guest for this episode is Houston rap rock artist Hyro the Hyro, who released his sophomore album Flag Channel late last year via Sony Red Music. Hyro the Hyro is scheduled to be on the inaugural Rockstar Energy Drink Disrupt Festival Summer Tour alongside the Used, Thrice, Circus Survive, and Sub 41, along with a few other artists. More information and tickets can be found at rockstardisrupt.com. During our conversation, we talked about his musical influences, mixing of musical genres, working with the famed producer Ross Robinson on his debut album Birth, School, Work, Death back in 2011, and much, much more. Before we get into this interview with Hyro, I want to remind you how you can support the podcast. And you can support Fresh is the Word via Patreon at patreon.com/Fresh is the Word. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support everything that I'm trying to do here on Fresh is the Word. And for the $3 a month tier, I dig deep into my audio archives of interviews that I did outside of Fresh is the Word, and from the past decade, and bring them to you. A lot of these were used for articles that I written, and some of them I didn't even use at all. Already, I have interviews with Danny Brown, Cool Keith, 12th Planet, and Dilla's mom, Ma Dukes, already posted on Patreon. So go to patreon.com/fresh is the word and sign up for one of the tiers. And I have a few other tiers where you can actually be a part of the podcast. So definitely go to patreon.com/fresh is the word if you want to help out everything that I do. All right, let's get on to the interview with Hyro the Hero. Yeah, to kind of start things off, I just came across you recently. You have an album that came out last year, Flag Channel, and I was like, "Yo, this dude is doing music that this is my type of music, man."
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I like that.
I like that. I'm like, all right, this guy's doing this rap rock thing, and there's a brevity to it. It's a new energy than maybe what we've seen in the past with that certain type of mashup of styles. What are some of your influences? Like, how did you fall upon wanting to make music like this?
Oh man, well I grew up on hip hop. I grew up on like Tupac, Eminem, 50 Cent. So they was like big influences for me. But when I ventured off into rock, man, I started getting into Bad Brains, At the Drive-In, Rancid, a lot of punk rock and stuff like that. So that kind of ventured me off, and I was really into, sampling like heavy parts of music, of the rock songs and things like that, or the breakdowns or something, because I really like how, it would open up, and I'll be able to rap on it, man. So I really started digging deeper on that, through an idea on MySpace, man, and it came from there, and it just started rolling.
Right, yeah, the idea of just sampling rock records and stuff like that, that's like the root of hip hop, back when they didn't have, they couldn't afford instruments and stuff like that. They just, took, Aerosmith records and shit like that and made songs out of them.
Yeah, exactly, man. So I started digging in, diving. I mean, what really kind of sparked it was a high school breakup. My ex that broke up with me, so I was real mad with her. So I was already sampling and stuff, so I took a rock song, a real rock song where I could scream and get mad at her, man. And yeah, it started rolling.
Yeah, breakups can lead to music, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're originally from Houston, correct?
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Houston, Texas originally. I've been in L.A. about 11 years now, almost 12.
Cool. How was it, growing up in Houston? What was your experience like? What was like your exposure to music like out there?
Oh man, it was cool, man. Growing up in Houston, it's real. We got our own little culture and style of hip hop.
Yeah.
Coming from DJ Screw, it's like real slow. We freestyle a little different, take a little time with it. So I was always intrigued and interested in that. Plus my sister, growing up with her, she was really into music too. And she used to make music with DJ Screw before he became DJ Screw. He used to mix at a club called Soca Village. And they was friends and stuff like that. So I used to see that. My uncles was real into, they're from Trinidad and Tobago, so they were really into the Caribbean music and reggae, calypso. So it's always been around me, and it just kind of fell into it. One day my homeboy came in freestyling, and I said, "Oh man, this is fun. Let's do this."
At that point, what did you start doing? How did you really just start getting the ball rolling about, making music?
Oh man, I had a Dell computer. And we had messed around, and my homie Jose, he found something called Fruity Loops. At the time, we didn't know what Fruity Loops was. Now Fruity Loops is like, number one go-to for hip-hop. But, we had that Fruity Loops, and we had an MPC, and we had a thing called Reason, and we didn't know how to use Reason or the MPC, but Fruity Loops was easy, so we just started trying to make our little beats, stuff like that, start rapping. We recorded on the sound recorder back then, so you only had a minute of rapping. We try to put together. Yeah, man. And so from there, we learned the craft a little bit, especially my friend Jose. He learned how to really get down into mixing and things. And so I started, when we got the quality good, I made little mixtapes here and there. Had a little song. I sampled La Bamba back in the days as a youngin', and they played it on the radio for the intro. You know, there's a bunch of cool stuff happened that kept me excited and kept me going. And started a little clique of rappers, and, you know, started building up from there. But, yeah, I decided to get a little bit more creative with it, you know what I'm saying, with the rock.
When did it, during this journey, like, when did you first, realize, hey, this music thing that I'm doing, it could be something that I could do for a while? You know, what do you feel like was that first little break that you had?
Oh, man, it kind of came from just really diving into Tupac and stuff like that. Because I love, storytelling, and, I love the message he was sending and how you feel what he was doing, especially with the problems that was going on in the community and stuff, man. So I just want to be something that can help. And when you're a voice like that, I just noticed that when you're on that microphone, everybody can hear you, especially when known like that, people will listen to you and understand, and they can feel the message, and there's other people that can relate to what you're talking about. So I just really always wanted to be that kind of person. I've always been like a person that wants to help, and, I'm always good to people and things like that, and music can open up, just more of a opportunity for me to do so.
Back in 2011, you came out with an album, Birth, School, and Work, Death, and on there you worked with, Ross Robinson. That guy's like a legend, man. And then you had Paul from At the Drive-In, Daniel from Idiot Planet. You had all these people that were sort of people that you already mentioned were a part of like the music that you were diving into on the rock side. How did it feel to work with them?
Oh, bro, it was insane, man. I got together with Ross. Ross was digging what I did, and got together with him. And it was actually Chino Moreno from the Deftones idea to bring in the At the Drive-In guys and dude from Blood Brothers, because he knew it would have been cool. Cause I knew Chino for a minute since I moved out in L.A. And, I ain't really heard the Blood Brothers too much and stuff like that, but when I saw the music, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And it just clicked in, man. I literally made that album in like 2 weeks, bro. The homie Cody came in and just killed it. I liked every riff he played. I'm killing it. It didn't take me long, honestly, man. And they say Ross, he put people through a lot, they said. His history, he really tried to get it out of you. But when I hit the mic, he was just like, whoa, this is dope. Keep going.
Okay, so you had a nice positive experience with Ross, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
What, because I'm very interested in like stuff that like Ross Robinson does. Like, what was sort of like his feedback in the studio working with you? What did you guys sort of, how did he do anything to make the tracks or whatever you're doing better?
Oh, everything he does is just straight raw, man. He don't really want to polish it too much. So I think that's basically how the trick in his stuff, man. He wants to get that raw energy and raw feel. So he basically had us all in a room just jamming. And so they can feel that energy. It's almost like we was playing live. And then when I hit the mic to record lyrics, so I was just kind of freestyling when they did live. But when they hit the mic to record lyrics, he kind of talks to you in ways that take your mind to another place. Sometimes you don't even understand what he's talking about, but it brings your mind to somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And it like makes you just open up your creative parts of your brain, but something to go deeper with it's like actually how you feel. Well, how you feel about that? How you feel about that? And it just keeps going deeper and deeper. Then when you hit the mic, you just got this explosive energy that comes up.
Dude, that sounds awesome. Like, what, do you remember any of the, what did you learn from Ross Robinson, working on the tracks that you did during that time?
Oh, man, I just learned, just to keep that raw energy, man. Bring that live aspect to the music. It's tough sometimes because you got so much energy live. So I try to psych myself to being in that live feel of the music. So you listen to it, you could experience in that same way. Like you just want to get up and move or get up and do something. Have that raw emotion in there,
So since that album, it's been many years since you've put out another album. What you been doing during that time?
Oh, man, I was working on some little hip-hop things right there, just trying to, focus on try to learn how to make better music, better track-wise and stuff. Because, like I said, with the Ross album, it was insane, but I still didn't have, like, a mindset of choruses and structure and all that type of stuff. So I just took time to do that. I went to some changes with management and things like that, too, also. It's just a little process in between, but in that process, there was a learning, learning it like a mug and just kind of dive into the music. And I really got into how the hip-hop was going, so I was vibing on that and seeing that catchiness and the tunes and seeing how it turned into the trap vibe and all this kind of stuff like that. So I was just finding a way to incorporate all of this into the music I'm doing, man. So I got the deal and everything, and, man, when I got into the studio, it was just on, and everything just started happening, so that was amazing. Especially props to Jose Mangan, who, he started spinning Devil in Disguise, man.
Right.
Kind of got everything rolling.
How is the Hyro the Hero of 2011, different than the Hyro the Hero of 2019 now?
Oh, wow, man, yeah, well, the name is different. I wrote the Hero, since it was back then, D-A.
Right.
Now it's C-H-E, so that's different. But I just grew up as, I just became a man over time, that's all it is. I was young, a lot of ego. I was thinking everything just come to you, I was always, it was like a hunger to be the number one rapper, a hunger to be, the best. And I want to be as big as Soulja Boy at the time or something, I'm saying? I'm better than these cats, I'm better than this one, I'm better than that one. And, so I was coming from a place of that, of competition, and also wanting to get my message out. Now, I done grew up and I've been through things. It's more of, I want to get my mission out there. I'm not too concerned with, I'm the best rapper, I'm the best this and that. It's more so I want to get my message. What's the best way I can get my message out there? What's the best way I can come across live and perform live and just bettering myself and not competing with others,
Yeah, your new album, there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of, just big ideas, political ideas. What did you want to come across, in regards to what you said, your message on this new album?
You repeat that? My bad. I didn't get to understand it too much. What did you say?
Oh, I was saying on this new album, on your newest album, Flag Channel, there's a lot of energy on it, a lot of political views, a lot of, just, passion. What was the message that you were trying to, come through with, on this album?
Oh, man, basically, I hope it come across, but it might not seem that way, but my message is peace, love, you know what I'm saying, amongst each other. We the you know what I'm saying, it's us against the 1%. We the poor ones, and they just come out with things to keep us divided. And I'm trying to point out the things that keep us together. Like, we all in this together. They the ones at the top that got everything, But since they got everything, they give us little things to separate us, tell us with race, woman, man, gender, whatever stuff. And there's all kind of things that just separate us and make us, as the broke people, not like each other. Because they know if we can come together, it'll be all kind of...
When doing music like you do, where it's influenced by rock and hip-hop, how does it feel to where you can actually sort of bridge that gap between those two types of music? You could have songs played on, rap radio stations, but then also, like you said, Jose Mangan's playing your joint on his show. How does it feel to be able to make music that can be played in different arenas?
Oh, man, I love it, man. That's always been my goal. I always wanted to have a pit with, like, the gangsters from the hood and the rockers from the hood, I always wanted to do that. And I've seen it once or twice, but I still want to get it on a bigger scale. I ain't reached that point yet.
Right.
But I really want to be that bridge in between, like, almost metal to the mainstream. There's this rap dude right here where you're going to hear my heavy rock song play on that rap station. And it's not soft or anything or a remix. It's that heavy song playing on the rap station. You get what I'm saying? I want to reach to that point. And I feel like it's coming closer, especially in this day and age we in. The kids, they into everything right now.
Right.
The rappers, they trying to be like rockers. Rock got the hip hop vibe. You know, it's just all coming together and it's building there. And I really feel like this is the right time for me.
During your years making music, did you ever have to ever come across whether it's within your own peer circle community or with just the music community in general about why is this this young black dude doing this heavy rock music type stuff? Did you ever have to deal with any of that?
Oh, not much, really, man. I really get a lot of props, man. It's just getting it out there to the ears. I really don't run into too many backlash about it. It's more so like, wow, I ain't heard that, man. That's so cool, So that's really what I run into the most. But I'll say, as rock fans go, rock fans are like, they take more of an ear to it than hip-hop. Hip-hop is a little bit more closed-minded in a sense. When they hear the guitar and stuff, it kind of scares them. Like, oh, that's too much.
Right.
Rock. Yeah, rock. Damn hip-hop and the damn rock. If you do it right, so when you're doing rap and rock, you got to do it right. Because if you don't do it right, it can come off corny,
Yeah.
It can a little harder to get through.
Yeah, it can come off. There's really a thin line of it being cool and corny. There's a thin line there.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think it kind of helps me the way I talk, the way I am, the way I get on the mic. I think that kind of levels off the corniness, so it won't be corny when I come on.
Right, but you from what I hear, you just you really come with a lot of genuine energy with it. It isn't a gimmick with you.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's more so I'm a rocker that can do rap, and I'm a rapper that can do rock. It doesn't come off as like a rapper, a famous rapper, oh, I want to do rock right now, because you can hear that in those type of songs when rappers try to do rock, It doesn't come across that way when I come and do it because I actually came from the rock, background. Well, I dove in and I've got that feeling. If you get what I'm saying.
Right. When it comes to your live shows, what do you want what do you want the crowd to get out of a show of yours?
Oh man, I want them to have a good time. I always want people to have fun, but I always want them to leave with like, damn, I actually, felt like I learned something. I'm not a teacher or nothing, but I felt like, man, I feel some peace. I feel like we came together. It's almost like when you see comedians, you got comedians who can just do jokes and be funny. But when you leave from like a Seinfeld or a Chris Rock or somebody, Dave Chappelle, you walked off like, man, I learned a lot, man. You get what I'm saying? I want to be one of those dudes when I get off the stage.
Right. When it comes to sort of like heavy music, sometimes, like you were mentioning, like if, people are, black folks are, listening to a song and there's some guitar, they might get like, whoa, it's a little bit too much. There's been certain bands that have kind of broken through to the, the black community, some like, I think the biggest one at one time was, or at any time basically, was Linkin Park.
Oh yeah.
And, what do what do you hope, like, even with your music, do you feel like, you can reach out to those, those little weirdos that like rock music that's maybe a little, too scared to, be open about it?
Oh, yeah, man. You got the purists out there, but that's why I say musically it has to be right. And that's why I feel I know the right thing to get those kind of people, because musically when you listen to the track, you're going to hear some real dope guitar, you're going to hear some amazing drums, and it's going to be music that you can respect. You get what I'm saying? Also, along with lyrics that's amazing that you can respect. So I feel like that's how I kind of reach those people right there. If the music isn't something where they can try to play again, or it's almost like a challenge to play, then, I'm not doing it right.
Right. When you kind of look back at your life and career already, if there was like a nugget of knowledge that you could take out that anybody listening to this this interview, no matter what sort of creative avenue they are in, could sort of apply to their own life, what would that lesson be?
Oh, man, the lesson would be stay persistent and don't concern yourself with others. Just do what you do. You know, build up your thing. And now you got to be persistent. You got to say, you know, just keep rolling with it, man. Stay on the grind. If you know that's what you meant to do and you feel it in your heart, stay on that grind. I'm the definition of that, man. You know, I ain't blow up or nothing yet, but I've been doing this for so long. You know, people don't even know my history of it, you know. So some people is like, oh, you sound like this, or he done did this, or he's new. But, you know, if you really dig in my history, I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm staying persistent with it. And, you know, with that, I'm seeing all the achievements come and the respect that come with it. So people are recognized.
Even, you know, in this, even though, you know, you still have this very budding career, you've worked with some, you know, really heavy hitters, and you've had some, and you've made friends with some really, you know, cool people. You've already mentioned working with Ross Robinson, you know, friends with Chino Moreno from the Deftones. You know, has there been anybody though along the way that has been sort of a mentor for you? And what do you think a mentor is in general from your perspective?
Oh, yeah, mentor, yeah. I mean, my old manager who used to work with me, he basically mentored me with, you know, just my way around the industry, especially with rock. He really kind of helped me, showing me what, you know, gave me what's cool rock versus the you know, not the rock that's not cool. I was growing up, I thought, you know, I was listening to all kind of, which I think is cool now, though, and I was still cool, but like Nickelback and all that, when I turned the station, I was like, oh, yeah, this is rock. You know, I didn't know at the time. But when I got with my manager later on and stuff like that, you know, he kind of put me on to new bands and things like that, and just that sound that people could respect.
No, definitely. What's what's next for you? You know, is there anything that you got, you know, cooking in the pipes, man, coming out soon, or, you know, what can we, you know, look out for in the next, you know, year from Hyro the Hyro? I mean, Hyro the Hyro. I'm messing up your name.
Right now, touring, man. I'm gonna be touring like crazy. I got Rockville, I got Epicenter, I got Rocklahoma, Disrupt tour. I'm going on tour with POD in May. I got some shows in Dallas, DreamHack. I got Afro Punk coming up in August. Man, bro, I'm booked. I'm real happy and really excited to be rocking, man, and bring this show on the road.
That's crazy, yeah. How do you feel about, you know, playing all these festivals? Because there's going to be like a who's who of just like everybody at all those festivals.
Oh, I'm excited, bro. I'm going to have a bunch of energy on stage, and, you know, I'm going to try to kill it, man. I just want to walk off that thing, you know, after all these runs, and people feel like, oh, yeah, Hyro the Hyro, that man in town.
What's sort of like a dream collaboration that you hope you can have in the future?
Dream collaboration, I'd say, my dream collaboration would be getting one of these mainstream-ass rappers that's cool to do a dope-ass rock song with me, you know? That'll be amazing to me. Like a Lil Uzi or somebody on a real rock track, you know, not what they think is some rock, but like a
right.
Hyro rock track or something like that. I think that'll be super dope.
All right. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Hey, man, it's been great talking with you. Where can people go online to get more information about what you're up to and see when you're going to be out and about on tour?
Oh, man, Hyro the Hyro everything. HYROTHEHERO. Instagram, Facebook, website, Hyro the Hyro. Yeah, check me out on there and keep watching the video on YouTube, Spotify. Yeah, hit me on Spotify.
All right, man. It's been great talking with you. Thanks again for doing this interview with me.
Oh, for sure, man. No problem.
All right, that was my interview with Hyro the Hyro. Definitely go check him out this summer on the Rockstar Energy Drink Disrupt Festival Tour. Like I said, you can find out more information about dates and tickets at rockstardisrupt.com. And more information about Hyro the Hyro will be in the show notes for this episode at freshasthepodcast.com. Again, thank you for listening. Goodbye and good night.
Fresh is the word.